Summary of Peter Pan by J. M. Barrie. The story starts in the nursery of the Darling home, where Mrs. Darling is sorting through her children's minds before they go to bed. It shocks her to learn that every kid has been thinking about someone named Peter Pan. Wendy tells Mrs. Darling that Peter sometimes comes to visit them while they're sleeping when Mrs. Darling asks about the strange boy. Mrs. Darling wakes up one night in the nursery to find that Peter Pan has come to visit. If Peter sees an adult in the room, he jumps out the window, but Nana, the children's dog nanny, stops him from leaving. A few nights later, while getting ready for a party, Mr. Darling gets into a small fight with the kids and ties up Nana in the yard, which makes everyone very angry. Parents Darling go to a party, leaving their kids alone. Peter and Tinker Bell fly into the nursery while they're gone. Their goal is to find Peter's shadow, which Mrs. Darling hid in a drawer. Peter can't get the shadow to stay on after Tink gives it to him. He cries so hard that Wendy wakes up, and she quickly sews the shadow on for him. Peter tells the lost boys that he has been listening to the kids' bedtime stories so that he can tell them to them again. He wants Wendy to join him in Neverland so she can adventure and take care of all the little boys. Wendy thinks for a moment and then agrees. Peter shows the three Darling kids how to fly, and then they all go to Neverland. They have been in the air for days and nights before they finally see the island on the distance. It looks like the island is dark and dangerous. The group is shot at by pirates who live on the island, and everyone runs off in different directions. Because Tinker Bell doesn't like how Peter and Wendy are becoming friends, she tries to get rid of Wendy by telling the lost boys to shoot her. Wendy almost dies. Soon, though, things get better. Peter comes back, and Wendy agrees to be the boys' mother. She loves cooking, cleaning, and fixing clothes. Like most little boys, the boys love having set times for meals and sleep. They go on a lot of fun trips with Peter. Wendy is reading the boys' favorite bedtime story one night. It's about three kids who flew away to Neverland and came back many years later to find their parents waiting for them with open arms. The story makes Peter unhappy, so he reluctantly tells them that his own mother did not wait for him. Wendy gets mad and plans to take John and Michael home right away. She asks all the boys to come, but Peter politely says no. Pirates are waiting just above the kids' basement house, as it turns out. They are all caught and taken to the pirate ship when Wendy and the others come out. At the same time, Peter is asleep in bed. Captain Hook, the pirate's boss, sneaks into the lost boy's house and makes Peter's medicine sick. Tinker Bell tries to warn Peter about the poison when he wakes up, but he doesn't listen. Just in time, she takes the medicine herself. Her health gets worse, but the sound of kids clapping all over the world saves her. Peter goes to save the others once she is better. Hook and the rest of his team are back on board. The kids are about to walk the plank when all of a sudden they hear the crocodile, the same crocodile that has been trying to eat Hook. The kids can see that Peter, not the snake, is making noise. Peter sneaks onto the ship, and most of the pirates are killed by him and the kids during the chaos that follows. When there is only Hook left, Peter fights with him and then throws him to the crocodile that is waiting in the water. The Darling kids will soon be back in London. Mr. and Mrs. Darling are so happy that they decide to adopt all the boys except Peter, who goes back to Neverland. Peter says he'll take Wendy back to Neverland every year to clean up for spring, but he only does it twice. The boys and Wendy get older. The boys find regular jobs, and Wendy gets married and has a daughter named Jane. Peter comes back one day. He wants to take Wendy with him to do his spring cleaning, but she's too big to fly, so he takes Jane instead. He continues to visit Jane's daughter often after Jane grows up, and so on.
About he author. James Barrie was born into a religious working-class family. He was the ninth of 10 children. James's brother David died in a skating accident when James was 6 years old. During his childhood, James wrote stories, put on plays, and even wore David's old clothes to try to make his sad mother feel better. After spending a lot of time reading as a teen, James Barrie went to the University of Edinburgh and wrote for several Scottish newspapers and magazines. Even though he wrote many books and plays, he didn't become famous for his writing until the Peter Pan series came out, 1904 play and 1911 novel. He got married to actor Mary Ansell in 1893, but they didn't have any children and were unhappy together, so they split up. At age 77, he died of pneumonia.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.